So, welcome back to DC Silver Age story time. This story is from Action Comics 244 from September 1958, written by Otto Binder and art by Kurt Swan. And I have to say, Kurt Swan had a very distinctive art style, and I barely recognize it here. It's the art style is very good, but I didn't even recognize it as Kurt Swan. This must have been, well, this was definitely when he was quite a bit younger. I read his or looked at his art in like the 70s and 80s, but this is 1958. What if Superman were not around to patrol Metropolis and the world for crime and danger? What would it be like on Earth without the Man of Steel on the job? Everyone finds out one incredible day when Superman mysteriously becomes an undersea exile and abandons the upper world. For what incredible reason does the Man of Steel patrol underwater only in the Super-Merman of the sea? And like, there's Superman. Faster, faster, my finny steeds! Time to patrol the seven seas. So I guess he's like Super Aquaman. So we start off with Clark Kent going on vacation. He says, "So long, Perry, Lois, and Jimmy. Don't work hard. Don't work too hard while I'm gone." Now this is some real plot convenience. Um, Little do they know I'll still be around patrolling Metropolis and the world as usual during those 2 weeks. So I don't know if he's flying back and forth to wherever his vacation spot is, or he's just not even leaving. But he's off and he spots this rocket landing in the ocean, dives down, and he finds some, I guess, aliens. He's going to allow them, or he's going to pull them out. They say, "Stop, Earthman. Do not take us up into your air. We would die like fish out of water. Please open our jammed door down here." So he releases them into the ocean, and the news report says, "We bring you a special bulletin. Ships have reported Superman flying out to sea but not returning. What has happened to the Man of Steel?" So he takes signs from ships, creates a message, and it says, "Am undersea exile, Superman." And yeah, so these aliens have fins on their backs, and I can't tell if they're scales or if they're costumes. Is the woman naked except for bottoms? I don't know. But Superman has not returned, and people are quite curious, thinking maybe it has something to do with kryptonite, but they're not finding any kryptonite, and they spot this kind of an upheaval in the water, and Jimmy Olsen heads down, and he sees Superman down underwater building something, some undersea structure. And it turns out, it says it's Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Submarines and divers keep out. Wow, it's an undersea Fortress of Solitude, just like the one Superman already had on land near the North Pole. And he says he's starting to fill it with ocean relics. So Superman looks like he's sticking around down in the ocean. In fact, he signals Jimmy Olsen to get lost. And he's patrolling the ocean with this seven seas scanner he has. I sent my guided missile whale out. This is just crazy. My guided missile whale out to gather unknown deep sea specimens for me to study. They're unarmed after having been swallowed by the mechanical whale. He's really going all out. And of course, this is quite tiresome. Lois Lane, all she's concerned about is, "I was supposed to marry Superman someday. He must come back. Oh, Lord. I'm going to get to the bottom of this crazy riddle somehow." So she goes down in a bathysphere, and she sees Superman with a mermaid, and no mention of the fact that Superman had a love affair with a mermaid. But I don't think Otto Binder was ever concerned with continuity. And they have matching thrones, home of Mr. and Mrs. Superman. So are they already married? So that's why Superman has forsaken the upper world after their marriage. His mermaid wife couldn't breathe air and live above, so Superman chose to live underwater with her. Choke. and so they're in a giant shell, towed by these big fish. So they're concerned that Superman that he's been forced underwater, and let's see, we're going to launch a sea dragnet to capture him using kryptonite for an official hearing before the World Court, but they have no luck. In fact, Superman uses this oil, which probably is not a great thing to release into the ocean, but he does it to trick them into thinking that it is a squid, a big squid. Um, and Then he uses his remote controlled whale to hide in its mouth. I don't know. Anyway, so getting back to the villain, or the aliens, they're going to activate this machine, the infracoil, to wipe out all Earthlings. And Superman says, "No, Volcor, I owe them no allegiance. After all, I was born on another world myself, Krypton." So he's telling, because Volcor wonders if Superman might be concerned, but he says, "Hell no. This coil will just wipe out everyone. Human civilization will sink without a trace. Then my sea-breathing people can colonize this new water world, and we will conquer Earth without having to use our space warships and drop super bombs." So it turns out, I'm getting strangely weak. Can you pull the lever, Superman? No doubt. I'll show you. He's ready to kill all humans. So he turns the infracoil on, and Volcor is still weak. But Superman, apparently, this was all a ruse. "I previously prepared this giant glass lens and hid it here. It all worked. I fooled Volcor into thinking I had turned into a super traitor. This special lens converts the infracoil ray into harmless rainbow colors." So the infracoil doesn't work. But Volcor is doing a little bit of research and says, "Oh dear, we're in deadly danger, La. A quick analysis shows why I turned weak. The earthly water is poisonous to us." So they speed out of there. It is the hell with this. And Superman has been slowly salting the water around them, which is poisonous to them. And he kind of thinks about how, I guess, with enough salt in water, even saltwater fish will die, which kind of makes me think that he probably killed a lot of fish to do this. But I guess he wanted to give the impression that the Earth was no good for them, because if he simply fought back, they would bomb the Earth with their incredible bombs. The infracoil burned out. Now back to Metropolis. Luckily, nobody will connect my undersea exile with Clark Kent's absence on vacation. So, like I said, that was an amazing plot convenience, because he didn't go on vacation because of this. He was already going on vacation. And it just gave an excuse for why Clark Kent was gone for 2 weeks, because he was on vacation. So, great timing. Superman explained everything. Luckily, he wasn't really in love with that mermaid hussy. "By the way, Clark, I'll bet you wish you were back at the seashore on your vacation, eh?" Superman reveals undersea ruse. Now, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I mean, if those aliens are monitoring Earth and they figured out that they got scammed, but I guess they went back to their planet. It does say, "Back to our water world. We must never try to conquer Earth." So I guess they're gone. So Superman wins again and goes back to, leaves his underwater realm.